conference, if you could take your seats quickly, please, so we can get underway. I'll be chairing the first session. My name's Jim Hollinshead, and I'm from the Liverpool Left Unity branch, and a member of the UCU. Is Andrew around?
Comrades, this week we buried two great fighters for socialism, Bob Crow and Tony Benn. We were there to show our respects at both their funerals, and I think we should begin this conference with a minute's silence in honour of these two great comrades. So if you could stand, please.
If you're able.
If you're able.
Good morning, my name's Tom Rimpin. I'm from Bristol branch and also the chair of Standing Orders Committee. If you look at some of the paperwork that you've got in front of you, you should have, hopefully, a copy of the Standing Orders report, which if you look over on the first page, it just says who we are and a rough outline of what Standing Orders Committee is for. Essentially, we're here to help put together the agenda, kind of support the composition of motions, and to try and make sure we have as open a discussion on policy as possible today. The first thing that we need to do is, if you look on the Standing Orders Committee report number 2, which is a list of corrections, it's just this one I'm holding in front of me here, you'll see at the back there is an appendix, and in that appendix is the list of standing orders that we have in place. What we decided to do with standing orders is essentially just to take the standing orders that we used at our founding conference and to update them essentially. So this basically sets out the how we can best have a discussion today and kind of how everything can run. So we need to kind of formally agree that so if I can move that for a vote, if people have their voting cards in place. Let's move the standing orders for today then. So all in favour? And any opposed?
Challenge to the standing orders?
Yes, it is.
John Pearson, Stockport branch. I've reported this challenge to the Standing Orders Committee Chair. I noticed that the standing orders that have been put before us today in section 7 set out the various powers of the Chair, but there's no provision for conference to challenge the Chair. This is contrary to the model standing orders which are attached to the Constitution of Left Unity, at which standing order number 15 says that any breach of or any question to the rules of standing orders may be raised by a member rising to a point of order. The Chair's ruling on any point arising from the rules or standing orders is final, unless challenged by not less than 3 members. Such a challenge shall be put to the meeting without discussion and should only be carried with the support of 2/3 of the members present. My suggestion to the SOC, which hasn't been reported to you, is that we regard Model Standing Order 15 has been incorporated into this document before us today.
Yeah. I'd move we just accept that. Agreed? Do you?
That'll be in the next section. I'll be just getting to that.
We can't hear exchanges like that.
What the comrade was saying is he just wanted to challenge the timetable, and that'll come up in the next section.
Cool. Okay, so can we move the standing orders as amended, please? That's with that section, and we'll advise of that if anybody has any queries on that. Brilliant. And any opposed? And any abstentions? Tracking. Okay. So the next thing that we wanted to do was, you'll find our standing orders report here, which contains the agenda for the day on the second page. And as I've already mentioned, we also have a number of corrections that have cropped up. These are mostly due to matters that have arisen since the 24th when the papers were sent out, or due to old drafts being kind of mixed up and things. But there's a couple of things on here that haven't been flagged up, and I just wanted to mention those now, which was that there's a couple of bits of numbering where in the sections you'll find in your motions booklet that there is a section 5 listed as miscellaneous, and we've incorporated that into section 4, and so every subsequent section has kind of moved up. So, for example, the foreign policy one is section 8 in your report, but it's in section 9 in the motions booklet. We apologise for that. And also you'll find that in sections 3, there's a couple of numbering changes in the notes at the top of that section in our report, and in section 8 there's a couple of number changes in the sections there. If anybody has any queries on those sections, they can come and ask us, but we'll also make sure that we flag them up as much as possible in the section with the chair. But yeah, apart from that, I wanted to kind of just say a few words on the agenda as we set out today. We've essentially set it out with the austerity and economic section coming first, then health and housing, because we felt that that was the main reason for the formation of Left Unity, being austerity and the challenges that affords us and our fight back against austerity. So we thought it was very important to have that at the top of the day. I also want to say that there's been a slight change to the agenda, which we'll also flag up when we get closer, which is that in section 4, in the electoral strategy section, Northampton branch have taken out their defend the right to protest student motion, and so we're recommending that the motion on Scotland from the internationalism section be moved up into that place to provide a bit more discussion on the Scottish question or Beth. Okay, and that was pretty much everything we want to say on that, so we'd like to move that the Standing Orders report as amended in the second Standing Orders report.
All those in favour? Are you wanting to challenge?
Yeah, it's a challenge first.
Where's this? Can whoever's got the other mic bring it forward? We need it.
Hi, I'm from Stockport as well, but hopefully this won't be a pattern. The problem...
Name?
Yeah, okay, Jim Hoyle, Stockport branch. The problem with the agenda is that for those people who haven't got to put motions, etc., there's no space for them actually to speak. So what I'm proposing is that we had an half-hour discussion to the highly contentious report of the Economic Policy Commission, right? Obviously I can't speak on why that is, but I think there's enough stuff in there that people need to discuss. The only way we can do this, which will make me hugely popular, is to take out the 15-minute comfort break and reduce the lunch half hour. Well, I've come here to discuss politics, not to eat my lunch actually, but I think it's really important that we have more than a 5-minute motivation on a commission report which has lots of contentious issues around nationalisation, taxation, etc., etc. It's otherwise, where's the space for the people to discuss it?
Comrade, I think you made your point there.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just going to put that to the vote.
It's an access issue.
Yeah, it's quite straightforward.
Well, there's no access to discussion for anybody. I understand what you're saying about
Comrade, I understand what you're saying in terms of the amount of time available for discussion, but you are now actually eating into that. Okay, so I'm just going to put that straight to the vote. All those in favour of the Standing Orders report as put, please show. All those against? Overwhelmingly carried. Okay.
No, it's the
Yeah, sorry, just one thing that I quickly wanted to flag up is that, as you'll see in the agenda, each section has a time guillotine that we put in place because we wanted to make sure that we didn't have everything kind of dripping and running away with itself. So you'll notice at the end of each section, so section 1, 2, there's time guillotines, and anything that we don't get a chance to discuss within those sections is going to be remitted to either next conference or the appropriate body, so whether that's National Council or anything. So if anybody has any queries on that, they can come up and just ask us at the front. Okay, thanks.